Pro Football Focus has come out with the top 32 NFL rosters. The top 32 NFL rosters. This is not me. This is Pro Football Focus, which is becoming like the Bible for a lot of media people in the NFL, a lot of people who covered the National Football League. How many days until training camp? 21. 21 days until training camp. Welcome aboard. Appreciate everybody stepping in. After a glorious 4th of July weekend, I hope everybody had a spectacular getaway. Whatever that was for you to get away, have great times with your family. By the way, you know that Snoop Dogg commercial with Corona? Best plans or no plans? So I got a little hibachi grill. Put some skewers, some lobster tails, and all kinds of goodies on there. We had ourselves a secluded little dinner yesterday, and it was great. It was absolutely great. And I hope everybody had a chance to recharge, because that's what these weekends are about, especially when you got the 4th of July weekend. And, you know, we could see like fireworks too from our crib. So we were watching the fireworks. It just was all good, man. And especially the 4th, because you know what the 4th of July tells us? The 4th of July tells us now you get more of a litmus test on your baseball team if you're following baseball. We're right around the corner to training camp, just like I said. Right? You're right there. We're 3 weeks away from the start of the Eagles training camp on July 26th. 3 weeks out. And this baby's going to all start up here, man. So excited. And the news that we're seeing now on the NFL front, teams are getting themselves ready. All 90 guys are getting ready to rock and roll and go to camp. We're going to find out which teams are really going to get out to a strong start, weak start, what have you. And I just can't wait. So, whatever on your boggle, I appreciate everybody. Oh, by the way, Jeremiah, we have a Matt Nagy take today, too. We have a Matt Nagy. Flex goes, Hurts said he's going to have an MVP season this year. Really? He's going to have an MVP season. Wow. I can't wait to see that. Man, MVP, right? All right. Well, let's just do this then, because it kind of goes into one of my lists. And Jalen saying that he's going to have an MVP season has kind of added to what a lot of people around the National Football League, including the media people, think about the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles. Hang on here now. This isn't a big Silz list. Okay? Bob says, Silz, what's your list of the day? Let's see. Who's going to get triggered today? Wait a minute. That's not what this do you think this is why I make these lists? Because I'm leading the witness. Is this what you really think of me? Oh, ye of little faith. Oh, ye of little faith. All right. Pro Football Focus has come out with the top 32 NFL rosters. The top 32 NFL rosters. This is not me. This is Pro Football Focus, which is becoming like the Bible for a lot of media people in the NFL, and a lot of people who covered the National Football League. Okay? Let me read these to you here as we get going. By the way, also, the most improved teams. From CBS Sports, I changed their list up a little bit. And I'll tell you who I think the most improved teams have been this offseason here. So let's get it going here. By the way, please hit the like button. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard here. Let's get into this because I saw this today and I was pretty shocked that people valued certain teams the way they did. Let's start it out here. Mike, appreciate you coming aboard. Thank you so much, man. Please hit the like button, guys. All right. I think we all agree on this one. The worst roster in the NFL is the Texans. By the way, this is Pro Football Focus's list of the top 32 rosters. It's not counting coaching. It's not counting anything other than that. Just the best looking talent that is on the football team. 31, the Atlanta Falcons. I agree. Headless, no quarterback. Yeah. I think the kid Kyle Pitts looks like he's going to be somebody. Number 30, best rosters in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus. The Bears. I think these three teams at the bottom, you could shake them up, put them in a hat, and pull either one of these three teams out, and I think you probably get the three shittiest teams in the NFL, right? Number 29, the Seahawks. Again, talk about a roster that's gone south under Pete Carroll since he's been given complete control of the personnel on that team. Since Paul Allen has died, that roster's gone the other way too. Number 28, Doug Peterson's Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 27, the Panthers. I think Matt Rule will be fired by midweek. How about this? By mid-year, Matt Rule will be fired. Number 26, brand new coach, brand new GM, Brian Daboll's Giants. Now it starts to get interesting here. Pro Football Focus ranked the top rosters in the NFL. 25, the Detroit Lions. I actually like what they're doing up there. I actually like it. And I'll tell you something, Daz. That Jags roster, I think, is better than 28. I think it's better than 28. Number 24, the New York Jets. I think Joe Douglas is doing a nice job there, retooling that franchise. I think they've got a bad coach, but I actually think that roster looks a lot better than it has over the last decade. Number 23, I thought this was low. Okay? How about this one? This is Pro Football Focus's ranking. The Cardinals at 23, DeAndre Hopkins, Zach Ertz, Kyler Murray, much improved offensive line. You add Hollywood Brown, too, in the offseason. Really, the 23rd, I guess, worst roster in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus, is the Cardinals? I might have had them higher. Number 22, the Steelers. Steelers have a decent roster, almost a top 20 roster. Well, Cam Hayward and TJ Watt on the defensive side. Yeah, okay. No quarterback. How about this one at 21? The Raiders. You just add Devontae Adams. You got Hunter Renfrow on the other side. You got a top 10 quarterback. Your back is pretty decent, and your tight end's good. And you got the Raiders at 21? I think that's a little low. Number 20, the Tennessee Titans. I think they've fallen because of the loss of A.J. Brown. I mean, A.J. Brown is going to be a significant loss to that football team, in my opinion. Hey, Chris, I agree. I think the Cardinals have a better roster than the Steelers, too. Number 19, how about this, man? The Minnesota Vikings, according to Pro Football Focus, have the 19th best roster going into camp. I'm like this. So wait a minute. You've got Adam Thielen. You've got Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, and a pretty good old line. Really? Your defense isn't bad either. Yeah, no suspension for Hopkins, too. I'm like, wow. Number 18, the New England Patriots. Who's their star offensive people? I think most of their playmakers are on the defensive side of the football. Okay, I mean, who is a star in New England besides the quarterback? Number 17, the Washington Commanders. Again, Pro Football Focus a couple days ago came out with top 32 rosters in the league. Commanders at 17. I think their defense is really good. I think there's some really good players offensively. And again, this is showing you the hype now that is going in the side of the Philadelphia Eagles here, in my opinion. Get this. According to Pro Football Focus, they have lowered the Dallas Cowboys to number 16 on the best rosters in the NFL. I think a year ago they were 10th. They're 16th going into training camp in 3 weeks. Wow. They're trending the other way. And I agree with that one. 16 sounds just about right, too. Number 15, here are your top 15 rosters heading into the camps. Now, listen, remember something here. Coaching is not part of the evaluation here. This is just about player talent that's getting ready for the camps on July 26th or 7th. The Indianapolis Colts. I think you upgrade with Matt Ryan at quarterback. How about this? Number 14, with the addition of Russell Wilson, the Denver Broncos. You wouldn't have thought that they were a top 10 team? Well, coaching, yeah, but the roster's that's a pretty good roster, man. Number 13, according to Pro Football Focus, top rosters heading into the July camps in 3 weeks. The San Francisco 49ers. This is getting interesting. This is not my rankings. Number 12, outside of the top 10, the Baltimore Ravens. How about this one? Number 11, a team that I think is also flying under the radar, the New Orleans Saints. According to Pro Football Focus, have the 11th best roster. Their defense is good. I don't know how many games Kamara's going to get. Michael Thomas, they just go out and get the wide receiver from Ohio State. Jameis Winston, can he be the guy? That's pretty impressive. Here are your top 10 rosters heading into pro football's July training camps. 3 weeks from today, the Eagles start camp. The Miami Dolphins are at number 10. Yeah, that's right. People have to hope that that Saints team tanks because those picks become even more valuable if the Saints suck this year. Number 9, the Kansas City Chiefs. This is getting very interesting. Number 8, with all the things that they did in the O-line in the offseason, the Cincinnati Bengals are the 8th best roster in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. Number 7, according to Pro Football Focus, the rankings for the top rosters in the National Football League, the Philadelphia Eagles are number 7. Wow! They got the Eagles ranked ahead of the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the 49ers, the Broncos, the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Vikings, the Titans, the Raiders, the Cardinals. Those are pretty damn good football teams. This isn't me coming up with a big Silz list here. Look at what people are saying about your football team 3 weeks away from training camp. The 7th best group of players, talent in the league resides in Philly? We're going to hit on that here in a minute. Number 6, the Cleveland Browns. I think that's got a lot to do with Deshaun Watson, too. If Watson doesn't play quarterback, Jacoby Brissett's the quarterback. Number 5, the Green Bay Packers. Be shocking to know this. But the Green Bay Packers are getting better on defense. Adding more components, and there's a lot more star players on that side of the ball now. Number 4, the LA Rams. How about this? The 3rd best roster, according to Pro Football Focus, are the LA Chargers. I agree wholeheartedly. Number 2, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the number 1 roster in the National Football League, according to Pro Football Focus, are the Buffalo Bills, which I wholeheartedly agree. That's a pretty good list. To put the Eagles 7th, actually, if you go back to our shows over the last 2 weeks, that's one of the reasons why I put that whole list together. Because when you look at all your groupings, tight end, wideouts, O-line, even your defensive tackle tandems, your front 7, your corners aren't bad anymore. Your safeties aren't horrible any longer. As a collective group, there's very few weaknesses that are on your football team, except the question mark of quarterback. And again, this is not about Jalen here. This is about the group. This is about the locker room. 7th, with that quarterback being what he is or isn't, says a lot about what they've done in the offseason here. This is pretty impressive. All kidding aside here, this is impressive here. You know what's funny about this conversation here when you talk about how you look at the roster now? You're telling me you have – here, and watch this. Let's even do this more, and let's break this down a tad bit more here. Okay? The teams that are ranked ahead of the Eagles, according to Pro Football Focus, how many teams from the NFC are ranked ahead of them? 2, the Packers and Bucks. So according to Pro Football Focus, I want to double check that. Rams. Yes. The Packers, Rams, and there are 3 teams in the NFC that are ranked ahead of the Eagles. Bucks, Rams, and Packers. Wow. They got you in the Final 4. Remember what I told you about making it to the NFC Championship game? Now I got Hey, Xander. Now I got Pro Football Focus saying you're going to make it to the Final 4. You got the 4th best roster in the NFC. Not according to Silz, but according to a media outlet that a lot of people use to evaluate players and teams. Jeremiah goes, it's July. You know what, Jeremiah? You're right, it's July. If you don't have a team going into July on this day, you don't have a season. It's July. I hope you have all your guys. I hope you have everybody lined up ready to rock and roll, because if you don't on July 5th, you have no chance of success if you're not ready to rock on July 5th. No way. Can't be building rosters during training camp. Michael, appreciate you coming aboard. Eric goes, yes. That's another little caveat. And the feather in the side of the Eagles too, Eric. That's pretty good, right? And you got the defending world champions in your conference. They grade Jalen pretty high too. That's where I differ. Rent is due in September. Actually, when you're going to training camp right now, wouldn't you rather be? I'd rather be the Eagles right now than I'd rather be the Dallas Cowboys. I got all my guys. I got everybody ready to go. Every position has been addressed. Safety, corner, edge, more help in the defensive line. You created depth with the center you drafted for years to come. The only battle that you really have in your football team this coming camp is that right guard. The rest of them, it's just going to be creating depth. If Gannon and Hurts do their jobs, going to the NFC Championship game for sure, DeShante says. Cowboys signing Julio. That would be an interesting sign. And does he have anything left in the tank? Susan goes, week 6, Mulata versus Parsons. That's going to be fantastic. Jalen's grade is screwed with Minshew as the backup. He was the 4th-ranked backup quarterback. He's a highly thought-of backup. That's one of the reasons that the Colts wanted to give the Eagles a 3rd-rounder for Gardner Minshew. They wanted Gardner Minshew if they couldn't pull the trigger on Matt Ryan in Atlanta. They had inquired about it. And that's when the conversation was starting to come up that potentially they could maybe bring Nick Foles back, but then they passed on that, kept Minshew, and that's when that whole deal with Ryan went down. Remember something, Atlanta's got $38 million of dead money now. Daz, worried AB goes to the Cowboys. That'd be the worst mistake of his career, going to the Cowboys. He needs to go to a place that has, to me, places like Denver would be something that he should take a look at, or Baltimore, because you got leadership at the quarterback position, and the quarterback's not going to take any shit like that. They're just not. Man, that's a pretty good ranking there. The 7th best roster in the National Football League, according to Pro Football Focus. Whew. That's crazy great. It's crazy great. Crazy great. The biggest improvement on the football team has to be the front 7. And again, this is why I am high on the Eagles now. I'm high on the Eagles because it's not what you're doing offensively, because I still don't know what that's going to look like yet. My hype for the team is more what you're doing defensively. And again, we're not talking coaching here, because that wasn't part of the evaluation with Pro Football Focus when they were talking about putting the roster and looking at the best rosters. Biggest mystery on defense is Gannon. Paul, I said this to you before. The 3 things going into the 2022 training camp / NFL season in September is the DC, the head coach, and the quarterback. Those 3 dynamics will not change as we get ready and as we move into that. It just won't. But this is, hey, on July 5th, you're going into camp with one of the best rosters in the game. So, you guys have been talking about 12 wins. You guys have been talking about a successful season this year. Boy, I'm starting to believe you don't win that division crown and you don't get at least into a 2nd-round playoff, it will be a failure season. You can't have one of the better rosters starting the year out and end up not fulfilling what people think that your football team is right now. Because this would go to coaching. Do we not agree? And I'm starting to think this. If I was Howie Roseman and someone came to me and said this, dude, you got one of the best rosters in the league. You got the 4th best roster in the NFC. And my coach shits the bed. I think Jalen Hurts' success has a lot to do with Nick Sirianni's coaching this year. And I think also Nick Sirianni is probably on just as hot a seat as Jalen is. And here's why. Hey, was last year a good year? I guess. Didn't beat anybody real. Didn't beat anybody with a winning record. You beat teams where you're supposed to. And I guess because you came off a 4-11-1 season, you get kudos for that. And you were a rookie coach. You do get kudos for that. You do get kudos. Hey, Urban Meyer failed as a rookie NFL head coach. Nick succeeded in his first year. Okay? I say this to you, though. If you're still trying to develop a very young quarterback, having a coach on training wheels wouldn't have been the angle I would have went on. Eagles have the best coaching staff in Philadelphia. You really think that's a real reach, Rocky? Hey, Rocky. Temple might have the second best. Hey, Temple might have the second best coaching staff in the city. Flex says not worried about Sirianni. You have them dudes ready to play. It's on Hurts to deliver. He could dial it up, all the plays, but if the quarterback doesn't sling it, it just won't matter. It's impossible to succeed. You are right. A bit of life. You are right, Dan. Jalen and Sirianni's fates are both intertwined. I think they are. I think they are because you know why? Let's do this. I know you guys love this. Nagy. That guy's success was intertwined with Mitchell Trubisky, wasn't it? Mitchell Trubisky actually won a division crown, the NFC North, with Aaron Rodgers in it, and they won. And then 2 years later, they were fired and they were dealt. So, I mean, his fate, look at what Rex Ryan's fate was with Mark Sanchez. It's a lot to be. Hey, Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's fate is going to be tied to Trey Lance. That's why he's not in a hurry to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. That's why he's not in any big-time hurry to go like this. Hey, let's just get rid of it. Yeah, he's like this. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, man. Right? I don't know. Right? So I think they're all intertwined. Dank goes, hey, Dank, I completely agree with you here. I don't think Jalen fits what Nick Sirianni really wants to do on offense. Completely 100%. I think that's why the play calling was sent to Stitchen. I think that's why it was given to him. Because I don't think Nick and Jalen, I don't think they really understand one another's game. I think Nick is more of a drop back guy, more so than he is RPO guy. And I completely agree with that. Marina, our defense, our depth is unbelievable. Dean and Taylor, backup LBs, Davis and Williams, backup. Oh, no. This is the best that you guys have had, in my opinion, in Philadelphia since your 2017 team when you had the best duo of lines, O and D line. I think one of the reasons why you fell off the map after that 17 Super Bowl is because the defensive side of the football started falling apart. Hurts doesn't fit Sirianni's scheme at all. I think they know that too. Nick said, wait a minute, I thought I was getting a guy who could throw. Hey, you know what though, Jeremiah? For them to win 9 games with a guy who can't throw, it's pretty good. Okay? It's pretty good. Now, to go back to what you guys have been saying in the last couple of days about Lamar Jackson, can Jalen improve like Lamar did throwing the ball? I don't know. I don't know. I saw Lamar in college, and I saw him win a Heisman. I saw Jalen, his best time was at Oklahoma, not Alabama. Okay? I mean, I thought he was good. Hey, by the way, help me out. Was CeeDee Lamb at Oklahoma when Jalen was there at Oklahoma? I think that dynamic was there, right? I think CeeDee Lamb was with the Sooners when Jalen was there. CeeDee Lamb's a good football player. All of these bullets with no gun. Bob, CeeDee was there in Oklahoma? Okay. Well, I say this to you too. Mike Evans and Johnny Manziel, who turned out to be the NFL star. Right? Hey, Josh Gordon or RG3. Sometimes those receivers in college, you got to target like those guys. Let's not forget something about Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon, I think he led the NFL in receptions one year. That guy was a great football player in Cleveland. He's just a Fruit Loop. I mean, he really is. Rocky, I don't think Jalen's horrendous, but he's got to improve. There's no doubt about it. Did Lamar really improve that much, though? He has thrown for 4,000 yards. Well, he did lead the NFL in touchdown passes with 36. And that year they did win 14 games. They went 14-2. So Dupree, I don't know. That sounds like a pretty good year to me. And remember something, he had 1,200 rushing yards. And and I'll say it to you guys because you guys know that what I think of those rushing yards. But when you lead the NFL in passing touchdowns and run for 1,200 yards, you're never going to see that in your life again by another player. Well, you may, because of the way the NFL is today. You may see that. But 1,200 yards rushing, and you led the NFL in passing touchdowns, that's pretty impressive. Kenneth, see that? Hey, Kenneth says I've been hey, what's the topic? Shit on Jalen? Nobody has said anything negative at all about Jalen. As a matter of fact, Kenneth, Pro Football Focus said you got the 4th best roster a couple days ago in the NFC and the 7th best roster in the NFL. I don't know about you. I don't know how that's crapping on anybody. There's just more heat and more expectations that are on this Eagle team now. Okay? All right. I have another list here. The 5 most improved teams this offseason. The 5 most improved football teams. Please hit the like button. We'll get to those here in a second. Hey, Dan Sileo here from Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. Means this, they don't get paid unless you get your fair compensation for your family. If you're hurt or injured on the job, knowing that you have the biggest attorney firm in the country to go to war and go to battle for you is one of the most important things that you can do. For the people, it's not a slogan. This is who they are. This is what they do. With over 800 attorneys and offices in Philly, New York, and in Florida, Morgan & Morgan is there to do battle for you when you get into a courtroom, making sure your family gets the fair compensation. The call is free. The consultation is free. 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. Open 24/7, 7 days a week. 800-512-1600. When you call Morgan & Morgan, tell them Big Silz sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Many times when people are injured at a place of business, they don't realize they may have a case. The fact is, injuries should not happen. And most of the time when someone is injured, someone is at fault. Maybe the store manager installed a cheap, slippery floor, or there wasn't proper security. After an injury at a hotel, restaurant, store, or any place of business, it's so important to call us. Time matters, size matters. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.